AJ Lee makes an unexpected move after SmackDown went off air. The best and worst of SmackDown. Dominik Mysterio disrespects AJ Lee's shocking WWE return. AJ Styles' WWE contract is expiring before his retirement. Bad news for Wade Barrett after getting replaced. MJF shuts down claims that AEW is dead. Rhea Ripley must take bold step for her security after a scary fan incident. Cody Rhodes to be stripped of the WWE Championship. Flair receives heartbreaking news. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of SmackDown. Chicago always delivers for WWE, and last night's SmackDown at Allstate Arena was no exception, easily ranking among the year's top episodes. The Windy City brings a unique vibe, CM Punk in his hometown, a fast pace, and an electric energy that sets the show apart. The night kicked off with a blazing opening segment that made the first hour fly by, featuring John Cena challenging Sami Zayn for the United States Championship, only for Brock Lesnar to crash the party with a flurry of F5s, setting up a massive WrestlePalooza match. The main event brought the roof down with AJ Lee's long-awaited return after a decade away. But SmackDown being SmackDown, it also had its share of duds, reminding us that even in Chicago the show can drag. Here's the breakdown of the best and worst from last night's Friday Night SmackDown. Drop your thoughts on the show in the comments. Number 1. The best. AJ Lee's epic return after a decade. The wild ending at Clash in Paris had fans speculating about AJ Lee's comeback before the show even wrapped. Some thought she'd appear the next night on Raw in Paris, but WWE played it smart, teasing just enough on Raw to build hype for her big moment in Chicago. SmackDown, in Punk's hometown, was the perfect stage, and with WrestlePalooza 2 weeks away, it made sense to bring AJ out to set up her match, rather than dragging out the anticipation. Becky Lynch deserves props for her stellar work since Clash in Paris, making this feud sizzle. The CM Punk/AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins/Becky Lynch storyline looks like a smooth way to ease the former Divas champion back, not just a one-time deal. AJ's in top shape, had fans crying with her return, reunited on screen with her husband after 10 years, and has her eyes on Becky Lynch and the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Number 2. The worst. Endless ads and dull TV after the hot start. The first 50 minutes of SmackDown were mostly ad-free, especially for international fans on Netflix, letting them soak in the incredible John Cena vs. Sami Zayn match. But fans in the US on USA Network missed chunks of it due to commercials. After that strong opening, the second hour was bogged down with constant ad breaks, making it a slog to watch. The action itself was even less exciting than the ads. US viewers got commercials, while Netflix's international fans were stuck with annoying background music. Michael Cole's non-stop plugs for upcoming events and stiff recaps of recent shows didn't help either. Number 3. The best. Cena vs. Zayn and Lesnar's big return. Last night was John Cena's final SmackDown appearance, 23 years after his main roster debut in Chicago on the Blue brand. He started with a heartfelt thank you to the fans, but Sami Zayn, the new United States champion, cut him off, asking for Cena's blessing to start his own US Championship Open Challenge, a nod to Cena's version a decade ago that helped launch stars like Zayn. But Zayn wasn't just passing it on, he wanted to settle a score. The spur-of-the-moment title match was perfectly built, with Zayn playing the villain and Cena battling as the underdog. The match was a banger until Cena hit an avalanche attitude adjustment, leaving both men down. That's when Brock Lesnar stormed in, wrecking the moment. His return wasn't a shock, but the match was so good that Lesnar's F5s on Zayn and Cena drew massive boos, despite his star power. Backstage, Lesnar laid out the challenge for WrestlePalooza, and the match was made official. The Beast will be back on SmackDown next week. Number 4. The worst. SmackDown's women's division hits rock bottom. The SmackDown women's division is in a rough spot, showing no signs of recovery and sitting at its lowest point in years. Becky Lynch and AJ Lee don't count here, as they're Raw stars. The show gave us 3 pointless backstage segments with women, all poorly acted. Kathy Kelly interviewing Tiffany Stratton, a clash between Jade Cargill and Nia Jax, and an Alexa Bliss-Charlotte Flair moment. Meanwhile, Julia's United States Championship defense against Michin left the usually rowdy Chicago crowd silent, with the in-ring action barely grabbing attention. Dominik Mysterio disrespects AJ Lee's shocking WWE return. Dominik Mysterio isn't exactly rolling out the welcome mat for AJ Lee's huge comeback on tonight's SmackDown. The young star took to his official X account to share his thoughts, and they're far from warm. It's no shocker that Dirty Dom has a deep grudge against CM Punk, dating back to when Punk was his first opponent after returning to WWE 2 years ago. Since then, Dominik's had nothing but harsh words for the veteran. Tonight, AJ Lee hit the scene to back Punk in his ongoing feud with Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, marking her first WWE TV appearance in a decade. Several stars have reacted to the massive return, and Dominik didn't hold back on X. Earlier this year, on Sportskeeda WrestleBinge, Dominik laid out exactly why he despises Punk. I hate CM Punk. Why? Because he's old. He disappeared for what? 30 years and came back. He's now 60 and he's still wrestling. He tortured me when I was a kid. So I was 12 years old and he was probably 45 at the time, maybe 50. So like, I don't know. What's up? I can't say that. I'm not gonna say that. But I don't like CM Punk. He traumatized me as a kid. Like, who does that to a 12-year-old? What's wrong with him? With AJ Lee back after a 10-year absence, fans are already buzzing about a potential mixed tag team match. Dominik and Liv Morgan against CM Punk and AJ Lee. Liv's currently sidelined with an injury, but she's expected to return eventually, which could set the stage for this dream showdown. AJ Styles' WWE contract is expiring before his retirement. A major update dropped about AJ Styles' future with WWE after a cryptic post he shared earlier today. The veteran went after the Intercontinental Championship on Monday's Raw, and ahead of tonight's SmackDown, Styles posted an image of his logo in an hourglass on social media, hinting at retirement. Fightful Select followed up with a report spilling details on the former champion's contract. It turns out Styles' deal was extended for 1 year in early 2025, but it's unclear exactly when it expires. Sources close to the Phenomenal One suggest it could run out in February 2026, just before WrestleMania 42. WWE reportedly wants to keep Styles beyond his current deal, but will check in on his plans next year. On Raw, Styles faced the Judgment Day's Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship, but fell short after El Grande Americano meddled, helping Mysterio hold on to the title. Wrestling veteran EC3 recently spoke about a dream match with Styles outside WWE on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Outlaws. He mentioned never getting a one-on-one match with the Phenomenal One, only crossing paths in a chaotic gauntlet match in TNA. Hey, you never know. Hey, AJ and me? Well, I never got to work with AJ. The one thing on his exit, I think it was him and Aldous. Some convoluted sort of gauntlet thing where a bunch of goobers ran down. I was one of them. The only thing I've done with AJ Styles is get atomic dropped and get clotheslined, said EC3. AJ Styles has racked up countless achievements in his wrestling career. What lies ahead for the 48-year-old in the Stamford-based company is anyone's guess. Bad news for Wade Barrett after getting replaced. Wade Barrett may have left his bad news persona behind, but he's facing some tough news tonight. SmackDown saw a surprising shakeup at the commentary desk. Barrett, widely praised as one of the best commentators on the Blue brand, has built great chemistry with Joe Tessitore, earning them both high praise. But on tonight's SmackDown, neither Barrett nor Tessitore was calling the action. Instead, Corey Graves joined Michael Cole, and they announced they'd be the new voices of SmackDown for the coming months. No explanation was given for Barrett's absence, leaving fans wondering if he'll return. The timing raised eyebrows, especially after Nikki Bella publicly called out Barrett recently, leading some to speculate about a connection. There's talk of a possible shuffle to the Raw commentary team, but nothing's confirmed. Joe Tessitore's absence might be tied to his Saturday football gigs with ESPN, but Barrett's situation remains unclear. Nikki Bella recently took shots at Barrett on her podcast, slamming comments he made during the Clash in Paris pre-show and claiming he dodged her backstage at Raw. Barrett clapped back, saying he was open to talking and didn't appreciate the public call-out. The two have since hashed things out. Great news, fight fans! At Nikki Ann-Brie and I have spoken, we've smoothed things over, and I've graciously been allowed back into the Bella Army. Fully paid up member since FCW 2008. Difference of perspective, to which we are all entitled. But to be clear, some of the personal abuse that gets sent to Nikki on here is reprehensible and completely out of line, so let's cut that out immediately. Barrett and Bella have buried the hatchet, but his absence from SmackDown commentary still has fans guessing about what's next. MJF shuts down claims that AEW is dead. MJF, a cornerstone of AEW, isn't letting anyone trash his company without a fight. He's now fired back at Bully Ray's claim that AEW is lost as a product. Bully Ray took to Twitter, saying that while AEW has talented wrestlers, the company lacks clear direction and is run by a wealthy fan, Tony Khan. He called Khan a good guy with a big heart but argued he's not a true booker and claimed the wrestlers know it too. Unfortunate, but AEW as a product is lost. There's certainly some bright spots, talent, but as a company, lacks definitive direction, is what it is. A company owned and operated by a fan with lots of dollars. TK. Good guy, good heart, not a booker, and the boys know it. MJF hit back on Twitter, telling fans not to take Bully Ray's words seriously. He compared it to washed-up athletes like Anthony Bennett or John Gotchnor hosting podcasts to criticize the NBA or MLB, saying no one would care about their opinions. He told wrestling fans to wise up and ignore such takes. Imagine if Anthony Bennett did a podcast criticizing the NBA and its players. Imagine if John Gotchnor did a podcast criticizing the MLB and its players. Would you take their opinions into account? Wrestling fans, I urge you, I know it's hard for you. Stop being dumb. Thanks, Bully Ray's comments sparked a heated debate, but MJF standing firm in defense of AEW. With the company gearing up for major events and expanding globally, plenty of fans might side with MJF and brush off Bully Ray's critique. As for whether Bully Ray's point about AEW lacking direction holds water, or if MJF's right to dismiss it as irrelevant, it's a tough call. Bully Ray's got years in the business, so his take might point to real issues some see in AEW's storytelling or focus. But But MJF's argument that only those in the trenches truly get it has weight too, especially since AEW's roster and fanbase are still growing strong. It's a clash of perspectives, and fans will likely keep picking sides. Rhea Ripley must take bold step for her security after a scary fan incident. Former WWE manager Teddy Long recently weighed in on a frightening incident involving Rhea Ripley in Paris last week. The Eradicator was swarmed by fans ahead of the clash in Paris PLE while heading to her Uber. Videos online showed a crowd surrounding her, snapping selfies, leaving the WWE star visibly shaken. Rhea took to social media afterward, pleading with fans to treat wrestlers with more respect in public. On a recent episode of The Wrestling Time Machine with host Mac Davis, Teddy Long said it's no surprise fans want a piece of their favorite stars, especially someone like Rhea, who's a top name with tons of TV time. He suggested she hire personal security to keep things like this from happening again. I agree, but nobody's gonna do that. The only thing that's gonna help you there is you're gonna have to hire your own security, Teddy added. Like I said, in the position that she's in right now, she's hot on TV and everything. And if that's the problem, then she needs to hire her own security. As Rhea Ripley's star power has skyrocketed in WWE, her fan base has exploded, leading to moments like this. Her standout style, magnetic personality, and killer in-ring skills make her one of the company's most beloved stars. It'll be worth watching to see if the 28-year-old takes steps to protect herself from future fan frenzy. Cody Rhodes to be stripped of the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes has been holding the WWE Championship since defeating John Cena in an epic battle at SummerSlam 33 days ago. But since that big win, the American Nightmare has barely been seen, with his last appearance on the August 8th SmackDown. That night, Drew McIntyre sent him crashing into the announce table with a Claymore kick, a move that wrote Rhodes off TV as he headed to Australia to film his role in the live-action Street Fighter movie. On top of that, he and his wife, Brandi, welcomed their second child. While that's heartwarming, it doesn't change the fact that the WWE champion has been absent for nearly a month. WWE once had a rule requiring champions to defend their title every 30 days. Though it's less strict now, Rhodes' no-show streak could be a problem. If he doesn't appear on tonight's SmackDown, Nick Aldis might have no choice but to strip him of the title. It'd be a tough call, but could be necessary if Rhodes stays gone for weeks. He's not advertised for any shows until the October 3rd SmackDown, hinting at a longer absence. Could this lead to an interim champion? Two stars are ready to step up for the WWE Championship, whether Rhodes keeps it or not. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. McIntyre's been gunning for Rhodes, claiming responsibility for putting him on the shelf. Meanwhile, Orton's been attacking McIntyre for 2 weeks straight, still bitter after Rhodes bent the rules to win King of the Ring, costing the Viper a title shot. Both men are hungry for redemption. McIntyre might be the smarter pick to take the championship, given he's the one who took Rhodes out. When the American Nightmare returns, they could dive right into a heated feud, with Orton joining the mix later for a blockbuster showdown. Charlotte Flair receives heartbreaking news. Charlotte Flair faced a tough blow last week on SmackDown, and tonight, the news got even worse. For weeks, Flair and Alexa Bliss have been locked in a heated feud with Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis. It all kicked off when Green crashed Bliss's birthday celebration, only to get humiliated by being slammed into a cake. Last week, Flair and Bliss were set to defend their women's tag team championship against Green and Alba Fire, but the heels jumped them during their entrance. Flair took a bad hit and had to be helped backstage, forcing the match to become a singles bout between Bliss and Green. Bliss won, but Green and Fire pounced on her afterward. Flair tried to step in and stop the beatdown, but she got taken out again. Tonight, in the medical room backstage, Alexa checked on her tag team partner. Flair was itching to get cleared so they could fight back and get revenge. Bliss urged her to take it easy, promising they'd strike when the time was right, but Flair needed to rest and heal first. After Bliss left, Flair picked up Lily, Alexa's doll, and quietly asked if she was still not cleared. Despite being a powerhouse in the women's division, Charlotte has often been booed by fans who didn't want her dominating the women's championship scene. But since teaming with Alexa Bliss, the crowd's been behind her. The duos clicked in the ring, even snagging the women's tag team championship. On Busted Open Radio, Bully Ray said pairing with Bliss has been a game changer for Flair's career. I think this is the best thing maybe ever to happen to Charlotte in her career. We are now looking at Charlotte in a completely different light. She's vulnerable. She's becoming likable through her vulnerability. She's paired up, she's sharing the spotlight with a character and a woman that the universe loves, said Ray. AJ Lee makes an unexpected move after SmackDown went off air. AJ Lee's return to WWE was no shock after the build-up since Clash in Paris, but what she did after SmackDown went off the air caught everyone off guard. Becky Lynch was riding high, acting untouchable until CM Punk brought his wife, AJ Lee, back into the mix. After 10 years and 5 months away, the three-time Divas champion returned with a bang, taking out the man and sending her running. Once the cameras stopped rolling, AJ Lee made a bold move, grabbing the Women's Intercontinental Championship and prancing around the ring with it, clearly teasing her next target. While there's no official word on WWE's plans, many are guessing a mixed tag team match could be first. a common way to ease returning stars back in. It'd be a smart step if Lee's gunning for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, but it feels like there's more brewing than just a mixed tag match. The way things are shaping up, a dream showdown between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch could be on the horizon. For now, WWE fans are over the moon, celebrating the return of the former Divas champion after a decade away. Lee's exit in 2015 was tied to CM Punk's legal battles with WWE, but she said her nagging neck injuries were the real reason she stepped away from wrestling.